Corrupt correctional officers. You do the crime, you do the time, right? Nobody likes a criminal, and here in the United States, we spend $106,000 per year to house an inmate. Strip them of all their belongings and label them a slave to the state, while keeping their First Amendment rights, such as freedom of speech. Inmates give up their right to privacy, including random searches, on top of being behind prison walls 24/7. While well deserved for the crimes they committed, they should not have to deal with corrupt correctional officers. I agree with the idea behind the Department of Corrections mission to facilitate the successful reintegration of the individuals in our care back to their communities. Sounds like problem solved, right? Not when the correctional officers whose job is to secure the premises have been manipulated and corrupted by inmates, contributing and feeding to the problem. First, we will look at the many ways a correctional officer can become corrupt. Second, look at how corruption affects the inmates and also can cause problems for their fellow officers. Lastly, we'll look at solutions and ideas for a better, safer stay for the inmates. Let's look at how officers who took the oath to protect and serve become corrupt. Three of the reasons a officer can become a criminal themselves are because of corrosion, very low pay, and manipulation. Corruption is a major issue in our prisons and jails today because it opens the door for gangs and organized crime to strive. Walk Free Law states that sometimes an inmate will use coercion and threaten a prison official or their family if he or she does not comply and smuggle in contraband into the prison. It is very hard to resist the temptation of bribes from wealthy inmates or criminal organizations, but it is their job. A criminal is going to do what they do. As an officer, you must respect the oath you took to swore to uphold the law. Close your eyes and imagine being on a level 4 prison yard where some of the most dangerous inmates are housed. How much would they have to pay you? Chris Menton told Business Insider, it has been referred to as the bottom rung in the career ladder of criminal justice. This is considered dirty work, your life in danger every day you go to work, yet not worth better pay. Makes it easy to accept bribes for bringing in contraband or other favors for a price. Dealing with convicts on a day to day basis while working, your every move being watched for a flaw that can be taken advantage of. Unfortunately, some officers fall into manipulation. Matthew Ormseth of Los Angeles Times. In 2022, 6,776 phones were seized in California, down from 10,494 in 2019. They are smuggled in by correctional officers and free staff. The armies of cooks, counselors, electricians, nurses, and other employees who service a prison, some are even dropped onto yards using drones, according to testimony. I want to now shine light on how deep the corruption runs, the dangers and the problems it creates for convicts and the COs. This major issue going on in the Department of Corrections cannot be blamed on one person. Dr. Michael P. Taro of AMU. I can attest to the fact that corruption is not limited to correctional officers. Corruption can exist amongst all prison employees, including administrators, officers, teachers, counselors, law librarians, maintenance workers, and all other staff members. With so many people contributing to the problem, it's no wonder jails are flooded with drugs, weapons, and illegal contraband. Locked behind bars by Locked behind bars and surrounded by correctional officers, cameras, and barbed wire fences, there must be another way contraband makes its way onto the facility, which creates serious problems for inmates. Columbia Law School writes, corruption in the prisons causes problems that go far beyond dishonesty. on the part of employees. First, correction officers as well as other inmates are frequently injured by smuggled weapons. For a quick dollar, these officers put everyone's life at risk. A correctional officer who has been bribed by an inmate and now only sees an opportunity that benefits themselves doesn't take into consideration the dangers he puts himself in, but also his fellow officers he swore to protect. Ashley Fence with CNN. Cell phones also can be used to kill. A prisoner ordered a hit on a guard known for cracking down on prisoners. Possessions of phones. South Carolina, said Osment. The guard was shot numerous times but survived. After looking at the reasons for corrosion within the walls of the Department of Corrections, those at risk, both inmate and officers, we will now look at solutions for these major problems. One of the keys to bringing a stop to the issue of corrupt correctional officers is hiring staff that is really committed to upholding the law. P.J. McCarthy, U.S. Department of Justice. Factors that undermine the formal control structure of the prisons are friendship with inmates, reciprocal relationship, and staff reliance on inmates to perform certain staff duties. Officers willing to do such acts need to be replaced. The ugly feeling of being unappreciated can affect anybody's work performance at work, including the stressful job of a correctional officer. Robert LaFleur of the Washington Examiner. This on top of assess, having to assess dangers, recognize threats, maintain the orderly operations of so many institutions, keep all inmates safe, and prevent from escaping. At first glance, it seems like the job of a superhero, yet wages reflect otherwise. Another important factor in solving these problems is staff shortages. American Addiction Center staff writes, guards are exhausted, traumatized, and often ignored or shunned if they express any weariness or misgivings about the work they are required to do. As a result, COs have rates of post-traumatic stress disorder that are more than double the rate of military veterans experience, making it easy to take their frustration out on inmates. More staff and less stress pro- can help this problematic situation. My goal with all this is to bring awareness to a problem that not many put interest in. We touch bases first on the corrupt officers of the Department of Corrections, the effects and dangers corruption causes for staff and inmates. Third, ideas on solutions that might help this serious problem. Even a person who's committed crimes has to spend time under watch of these officers deserves to do so safe on their state. We need to find a system to weed out the bad apples within the Department of Corrections, helping keep safe everyone behind the walls. In the end, I do not believe all correctional officers are corrupt, nor do I believe these criminals are innocent. Many of them know and find weaknesses within the department. Convicts who are masters of manipulation may be a big reason why this problem is such a big issue across the nation. A solution must be found.